High School, we have a unique opportunity today to hear from a legacy family member of JCS, and that is Michael Wall. I'm sure many of you know some of the Wall kids and have been with us for many years. When I say legacy, Mr. Wall believes in what the legacy of not only this organization represents in the town of Jupiter, but he knows what it means for generations to come. So much so that he has made an investment in our legacy campus. That's not what he's talking about today, though. He's talking about you. He's talking about what your future can hold, what the future of this world means, and ultimately how you're going to be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. That is the conversation he wants to have. So with that, I'm going to ask that we spend the next 90 seconds looking at the screens, and we're going to open up with Michael Wall. Let it roll.
From selling books door to door to national media correspondent, Michael and his team have advised some of the wealthiest families in America. Investing billions of dollars in real estate and private companies. And has saved clients over $1 billion in taxes. He's a best-selling author and has coached over 120 advisors across America. Michael is a founding partner of Trump Vodka. And host of the Invest Well Show and Empower America podcasts. All while keeping faith at the forefront. Please welcome Mr. Michael Wall.
How's everybody doing? Everybody good? All right, let me ask you a question. We're going to start with this.
How many of you like money? Oh, no, that's not going to work. How many of you like money? Okay. Now, let me tell you one thing before I give $2,000 out, so pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. Here's what I'm going to ask you a couple things. Number one, shut your phones off and pay attention for the next 40 minutes. Number two. You know, it's interesting. You can talk to some people. I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania, small town Baptist church, and God blessed me with the opportunity to support a lot of the ministry there. And you know, you have a lot of people sometimes, not all, but some, that are in the Christian space that say, you know what, I don't think money is the root of all evil. It's not. It's the love of money. And by the way, let me tell you this. People that say they're not interested in money are going to lie about other things too, because it's reasonably close to oxygen. Let me tell you why. You didn't eat food today without somebody making money to pay for it. You're not in this gym without somebody making money to pay for it. You didn't wear the clothes you have without somebody making money to pay for it. You didn't drive in the car to get here without somebody making money to pay for it. You don't do the things that you do in life, almost everything that we do in life, without money to pay for it. So what does that mean? Money's valuable, but it's not the most important thing. It is a tool. Now, you guys live in a generation that is in a place where for the first time ever, you have the biggest drug in the world. It's right here. You guys are being told things day in, day out, and whatever you listen to, you hear more of. Are y'all with me there? So the reality of it is, a big goal for you in life is to learn how to unplug and detach. The Bible says that we're to be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, here's the reality. You know, there's nothing wrong, again, with money. I fly private a lot. We have nice cars. We take nice trips. By the way, for those of you that know my kids in the school, just so you're aware, the money that we have is not theirs. It's mine. They have to go earn their own, and they know that. By the way, it's the best gift I could give to my kids. Because if you don't learn the ability of how to grind and grow, you will be in a situation where you'll be stagnant in life and you'll be waiting for opportunity to come and find you, and that never happens. So let's talk about giving some money away if you're interested. Let me hear it again. All right. Can I get the mic? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is going to require some participation. So I want 10 people that are interested to get up and come down here right now. First 10, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, the rest of you leave. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So here's what I'm going to ask them. I need you guys to listen. And by the way, if you guys want a little gift, if you didn't get up here, you can, maybe they can buy your lunch or buy you something nice later if you missed it. But here's what I'm going to ask you guys. Here's the question. And I want you to think about it in the crowd. The question is this. The question is, what do you think? You guys everybody's in high school here, right? Okay. So what I thought about when I was sharing today is I thought about what could I share to you guys? Because to go from where you are right now, and obviously all of you come from diverse families and backgrounds and different situations, but to go from where you are right now to where I am today, I'm 48 years old, okay, is almost, you can't just leap there. It takes time, okay? Anything worthwhile takes effort, anything. So the question that I thought to myself is, what can I share with you? And so what I thought of is, if I had to roll the tape back and all the companies that I've owned and sold and different things that I've done, what would be 1 or 2 things or 3 things that I would love to know that when I was your age? Now, here's the challenge. When I was your age, I wasn't really willing to receive a lot of information because in my own mind, I knew it all. Okay, thanks, Dad. Now, by the way, the other thing in relation to receiving advice goes like this. How many of you have had somebody give you advice in life when they in their own life is messed up themselves? Their life's messed up, and they're trying to tell you what to do, and they don't have their stuff together. Are y'all with me there? So the reality of it is, at some point in time in life, there's nothing wrong with receiving advice, but you have to ask yourself the question of, who am I getting this advice from? And let me give you a real close to home example. Love my parents. My dad had a heating and air conditioning company, worked hard, 70, 80 hours a week, okay? Worked 2 jobs to do what he did. He didn't give me anything. My very first car was a Acura Integra, had 115,000 miles on it. I paid $3,000 for it. I saved the money, okay? The reality of it is, every step of the way, he encouraged me and guided me, but sometimes he gave me advice that was from a heart of care. But unfortunately, he had never been to a place that I was going. He had never built what I was building. Are y'all with me there? So at some point in time, even though he was my father, I still respected him, but I had to realize the advice that he's giving me is from a place that is not where I'm trying to go. So how can he give me advice to go somewhere that he's never been? I don't want to go hike Mount Everest with somebody that's only lived on the beach. Does that make sense? So you have to pay attention to where you're getting the advice in life from. So real quick, guys, I want to ask you this question, and that is, if somebody were to ask you this question, what is the most important thing that you think you can work on or develop as a young person?
Make money mindset.
Okay. There's your 200, go home. What's yours?
Public speaking.
Is this on? Go ahead.
Public speaking.
Okay. What are you building? What's the best thing to develop?
A way for others to be satisfied.
Go ahead.
A way for others to be satisfied in their own home and economic.
Okay, listen up, guys. It's called self-respect and respect of others. Thanks, brother. Go ahead.
Keep God first.
Okay.
I'm gonna say my relationship with
Say it again.
God.
Your relationship with God? If I run out when I get to the end, we'll go to the ATM later.
Your mindset.
Your mindset.
A relationship with God.
Relationship with God.
Making connections.
Making connections. Ooh. It's not who you know, it's who you know.
Developing good habits.
Developing good habits. Wow, these are all good answers, guys.
You got to learn to love yourself before you try to love others.
Wow. Okay, that's good. Good job, guys. Okay. Those are all good answers. Does anyone else want to win some money? I didn't bring any more. That'll be next time. All right, so here's the thing, guys. Listen up real quick. Listen up. So those were all good answers, but here's the reality. And here's what I know for sure. Every one of you is going to hear this. Not everyone's going to listen. Let me tell you what I know for sure. The most successful people in my high school. Thank you. The most successful people in my high school where I grew up are not the most successful people in life right now. You know why? Because they believed that society should just open the door for them because everybody knows who they are and they're cool. Here's what I've learned in life. You can either be cool because you worry about what everybody else thinks, what everybody else says. Oh, I'm different because I wear what the crowd wears. Really? Or you can buy cool at some point in time. I'd rather buy cool. Buying cool is doing what you want to do when you want to do it because you have the money to do it. That comes from discipline and dedication. That's it, period. That causes you to be in a place where you have to move away from the crowd. So the biggest thing that you can develop, here's the answer. Some of them were close. The biggest thing that you can develop in your own life is your own brand. You. Some of the answers that were given here tied into that. We're going to talk about that real quick. But before we do, I want to play a song that I actually listen to every day when I got up and I sold books door to door. Now, you guys have no idea maybe what that looks like. But when I went to college, by the way, I didn't graduate. I finished 30 credits. I went to Liberty University, spoke at graduation in 2015, even though I didn't graduate, which was pretty cool. But here's what's interesting. I'm glad I went, not because of the degree, but because of the experience. I would have never sold books door to door. My dad said to me, you want to go to college? Great. You're paying for it. That's the way it looks. That's going to be the way it works. And so I was in a situation where I had to find a way to pay for the school. And I knocked door to door 80 hours a week selling books in the South. And I was in a situation where when I did that, that's really the time for me where all the church answers went away. My faith actually started to become real. I encountered a guy that was in his 40s that was ready to commit suicide. And he was looking for purpose in life. He was a truck driver. He drove across the country. And the reality of it is, in those seasons, that's where I really asked the question, is God real? I grew up with it. I grew up with the knowledge. I grew up with the understanding. But is he real? It's easy to believe in God or maybe not believe in God potentially in an environment that's cushioned. But when you get out in the real world and life hits you in the face, and you're getting ready to do that soon, and it's not easy. The question is, will you try and continue to remain cool or find real purpose and success? For those of you that are in a situation where your parents have decided to write endless checks to you, let me warn you, you're going to live a miserable life. And here's why. I don't mean financially, you may not have great stuff and take nice trips and all that, but let me tell you why. I can't tell you how many trust fund kids that I've met over the years that make $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 a month, and they get a $500,000 a year car allowance. And they are the most miserable people on the planet because they have absolutely no purpose. One of the guys was the son of a family that owns King Ranch down in Texas. I'll never forget the conversation. It was 12 in the afternoon. He's walking in drunk. I was doing a book signing at Ferrari. Horrible. No purpose, no intention. You have to be active in something. So developing your brand and developing you is one of the most beneficial things you can do. Here's a song I woke up to every morning. Listen to the words real quick. Don't tune out. I want you to listen to the words, please.
Don't wanna wait till tomorrow. Why put it off another day? One by one, little problems build up and stand in our way. One step ahead, one step behind it. now. It means everything. You miss a beat, you lose a rhythm.
All right, I don't know if you caught the words there or not, but what's a couple things that he said? By the way, I don't know if you know who that was. Everybody, who was that? Just Van Halen. I don't know if you saw in the video. So I was at San Francisco. That was a picture of me and Sammy Hagar, which was the head with Van Halen. Obviously, Green Day's drums and everything was there as well. And I did an interview with Sammy. Really cool guy. And he was just talking about the idea of life and what it looks like. Obviously, he's traveled all over the world. Sold Cabo Wabo tequila. He's done a bunch of different things. But what's interesting is that song. Now listen to me for a minute, because we all get yo-yoed in life. And by the way, my life hasn't been perfect. And for those of you that know me to some degree, or know my family to some degree, we've gone through a lot of rocky times. What you see up here is not veneer, but it's just a reality of continuing to get up every day and making a decision that I will choose to see the best and not the worst. There's a lot of people that choose to see the worst. Now, sometimes people can say, well, that's just not being real with what's happening in reality. No, reality sucks sometimes, doesn't it? Am I the only one that agrees with that? It sucks sometimes. The question is, what will you choose to see? And what will you choose to focus on? Because everything in life is a choice. In fact, let me ask it to you this way. How many of you absolutely believe, in fact, you are in a place where you can say with certainty that there is something that you could do in the next 2 weeks? There's something that you could do in the next 2 weeks that could make your life, your family life, your school life, your friend's life. There's something that you could do in the next 2 weeks that could make all of those environments worse. In other words, how many of you believe you could do something really stupid in the next 2 weeks to make all those things worse? I agree. Now, let me ask you the flip side. Maybe you've done it already. Hopefully not. Let me ask you the flip side. How many of you then, on the contrary, believe that there is something, listen to this, guys, that there's something that you, not your brother, sister, mother, father, teacher, friend, you, that there's something that you can do in the next 2 weeks that would make all of those situations better? Can I see your hand? Let me tell you what you just told me. Now, I want you to not miss this, because we hear this a lot in culture today. What you just told me is you are not a victim. Life is all about choice. You are the one that get to choose where your future goes. Now, I understand right now you're in high school. You got to be in school at a certain time. Listen, if I'm real, I got through the process. Some of you are scholars. Wonderful. Good for you. Some of you are not. It's okay. There's hope for you. The good news is, the reality of it is, when you look at your life is a sum of the daily choices that you make. Zig Ziglar, which I grew up with, which I love, said it this way. He said, listen to this, I chose for 25 years of my adult life to be overweight. What? He chose for 25 years of his adult life to be overweight? Yeah, you know why he said that? Because he said, I have never accidentally eaten anything. Everything's choice. If you choose to eat too much, you choose to weigh too much. If you choose to not work out, you're not going to be strong. If you choose to not focus your brain on where it should go, it's going to be like a ship that's just out there with no direction. You have to make the decision yourself of what you want in your life. So my question for you right now, forget your friends for 1 minute. And stand up if you agree with this, and sit down if you don't. Do you want success? If it's yes, stand up in your life. Good. All right, sit back down. Good job. Here's a question, guys. I used to think, and feel free to be just like me if you are this way, and if you're not this way, don't be a poser. That's an old word. You guys may not even know what that means. I don't know. I hope you do. There you go. So here's a question. How many of you in your life sit there and you're like, you know what, someday this amazing opportunity is going to come my way, and that's just going to make me a multi-whatever, billionaire, trillionaire, millionaire, whatever the word is for you, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to be Mr. Beast, the next whatever it is, and I'm just going to blow up and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to have an opportunity like that, and I'm going to get rich quick. How many of you think like that? Okay, I used to. What I've realized is this: wealth that's gotten fast goes away quick. I also know this: champions are not made on feather beds. You know what that means? The road to success is hard. Everybody's gone through challenges. Now, the biggest thing that you can do to detract or keep yourself from success is walk around like this. Yeah, but they need to do this, and he needs to do that, and she should be doing this, and you should do this, instead of doing it right here. How do I have to grow? Instead of me dumping verbally on other people in life and telling them where they're missing the mark, why don't I reverse the finger and say, how do I grow? Now, I haven't gotten this right all the time. Truth be told, I'm not perfect. I get it wrong a lot. But at the end of the day, my desire is to get back up and do it better the next day. Because I believe that my gift is exhortation, calling out inside of others what is inside to help them grow and develop. You know, Dale Carnegie, you may know that name. He was asked one time years ago, how is it that you're able to hire so many millionaires? And he said, well, they weren't millionaires when they started working for me. And they said, okay, well, how is it that you were able to develop people in such a way that you're able to pay them so much money that they could be millionaires? He said, well, you develop people. I want you to listen to this. You develop, massages over here. Is that what's going on? Great. Hey, if everybody needs a massage, I'm kidding. You develop people in the same way you mine for gold. Are you with me? Here's what it means. You don't go into the mine looking for a bunch of dirt. But you got to move a lot of dirt to get to the gold. All of you have been programmed already with a blueprint. How many of you know what a blueprint is? What is it? Who said I do? What is it? Say it real loud.
It's a plan.
It's a plan? For what?
To build.
To build what? A house. Guess what? You guys also have a blueprint of how you see life. Now get this, guys. You're in a place where how you see life right now has come through the lens of a couple things. The first thing is your parents. How you see money. How you operate. How you feel when you're around things that are different than what you're used to. You get it from your parents. The other way you've built and developed your blueprint is from social media. Are you with me? You guys are having voices in your brains all day long, and now you're fact-checking the YouTube video when adults that have actually lived life all of a sudden became idiots. Think about that for a minute. You always want to ask, who is the person that's giving me this information? What is their real success story? What have they accomplished? What is their consistency? What have they developed? What have they been involved in? Those are important questions to ask. And so as you look at your life, you have to think about it this way. How do I build my brand? And I'm going to give you all an opportunity to ask some questions if you have any in a little bit. But how do I build my brand? When I say mine, I'm talking about you. How do you build and develop your greatest asset that you have, which is you? The first thing that you have to do, who was it? Attitude. You got to work on your attitude. When I was younger, they used to call it stinking thinking. You could find a problem in any positive that existed. Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, but did you notice the sand's so hot it burns my feet? Oh, I can't believe this. You are wired to find the negative instead of looking for the positive. If you think like that, it affects your attitude. And then guess what happens? You start searching something on your phone right here, the biggest drug in the world. And then conveniently, the algorithm, thank you, Zuck, provides us with an opportunity to watch videos that are right in line with how you think. And then the more videos that you watch, you'll watch more videos that are right in line with how you think. Now, here's what's interesting. Not one person, most of the time, that you watch on this piece of device are people that you personally know or that personally know you. I want you to just think about this for a minute. You're literally taking advice or drinking ideas from someone that has never met you, that hasn't asked any questions about your situation, that doesn't know who you are, that doesn't know the real challenges and issues in your life, and yet you're walking forward in life saying, you know, I watched this video and I saw this thing on TikTok and I saw this thing on whatever, and like, wow, I was so enamored at what's, and this I need to change and do. I'm not going to this store anymore because everything's bioengineered. Now, I'm not saying don't eat healthy because I'm a big fan of that. But what I'm saying is, think about this for a minute. Would you take advice from someone that doesn't know anything about you and is telling you how to live your life? Yes or no? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. If you and I sat down for 10 minutes and you said, hey, Mike, here's what I'm struggling with. This is what I want to develop into. This is what I'm trying to build. This is who I want to be. This is what my life looks like, where I want it to look like. I would have the ability from some information to give you some thoughts and ideas that would be able to help you to go down a path of success. Does that make sense? Are y'all with me here? So at the end of the day, stop listening and actually fully walking into advice of people that have no idea who you are. How many of you love to buy stuff? Everybody does. So if you didn't raise your hand, you're lying. Everybody loves to buy stuff. Okay? People hate to be sold, but they love to buy. Bottom line. Well, here's the question. Do you want to develop your own net worth, or do you want to keep making other people rich? Think about that for a minute. And by the way, is there anything wrong? Remember I said in the beginning with money? The answer is no. But it's how you use it. It's a tool. So I want you to think about building your brand in a couple ways. If you do have your phones, I don't know, I'm old school. I got the Notes app. If you guys have a Notes app on your phone, do me a favor, pull it out right now. Take a minute, pull it out. Get your phones, pull out your Notes app. Don't look at your texts. Don't look at TikTok. Don't look at Instagram. Don't scroll a quick video. By the way, here's how you know you're addicted. Hey, listen up, guys, real quick. You say, I'm not addicted to my phones, Mike. You don't know what you're talking about. All right, here's what I want you to do then. I want you to evaluate you. This isn't me evaluating you. This is a challenge to you. And I don't do this all the time, but I have done it from time to time. Okay? If I think I'm going down a path where I'm having a real problem, I'll take this and I'll put it away for a period of time. Imagine me sitting there at dinner and I'm sitting across the table from my wife or one of my kids and they're talking to me and I'm like this. Uh-huh. Or I got headphones on. Yeah, uh-huh. Cool. Uh-huh. Does that seem like I'm really dialed in? Does that seem like I care about their time? Does that seem like they're the most important person in the room? No. Bottom line is no. Remember, 10 to 15% of you guys are going to implement this stuff, and unfortunately the rest of you are not. But I hope the percentages are wrong. So here's the notes. Write it down. First thing, if you're taking notes, write this down. If you're not taking notes, write this down. First thing is this. One of the ways to build your own personal brand is to develop, number one, develop a positive attitude. Choose to see the good. Oh gosh, I got a math test coming up. Whatever, this sucks. I hate math. Why do we even do this? It's such a waste of time. My teachers tell me it's an opportunity to stretch my brain. Like, I don't need my brain stretched. I'm good, okay? This is a wasted... Okay, how do you think you're going to do on that test walk in with that attitude? Versus you walk in with the attitude of, you know what? Hey, I wasn't on gaming last night. I wasn't gaming. I wasn't out with friends. I wasn't doing stuff. I actually spent the time needed because I care about building my brand and building my own discipline to do the things that I need to do so that way I can have the best outcome. And now you walk into that test and you say, you know what? All right, I really don't love math. That's the truth. However, I've put the time in, I have the ability, and I'm going to do the best that I can. Now at least you're positively ready. It'd be like going to war. You guys know we're engaged in a little bit of a war right now, right? It'd be like going to war and you're there in the battle lines and you don't bring your gun and you don't bring your helmet and you don't bring anything else because you're like, I'm not going to win anyways. What are your chances of winning? 0, correct. Versus showing up prepared. So when you expect to win and you prepare to win, the chances of you winning go way up. So positive attitude is key. The other thing that you can do throughout the day to check yourself, and by the way, you're not just going to do this all the time. You're going to bounce in and out of rhythms of doing this well. This is why your friend group matters, or who you listen to matters. Okay? If you guys struggle with positivity, follow me on Instagram at RealMichaelDWall. I don't need another follower. Good. But what I will tell you is this. If you need to make sure you put positivity in your mind, get it from somebody else to help you develop it. Learn you. Know you. So positive attitude is number 1. Number 2, listen up, guys. Number 2, develop skills and abilities that you need to grow in. Develop skills and abilities that you need to grow in. And by the way, you're not just going to have a positive attitude by walking around saying, Kumbaya, everything's amazing, everything's great. It's going to take work. You need to be in a situation. Hey, let's clap for everybody coming in real quick. Come on. Hey, good for you guys. Nice work. Good job, Declan. Develop skills and abilities. Hey, newcomers, we're listening. Thanks, everybody. Develop skills and abilities that will help you stay focused, everybody, because, by the way, that's number 3, being able to stay focused in the middle of challenges. But number 2 is develop skills and abilities that will help you develop. So let's say this for a minute. Let's say you're in a situation where you're not really good at school. Now, when I say you're not good at school, what I mean is you take the time to sit down and try and read, but you just can't really get the information. How many of you would say you're in that category? Let me see your hand. My hand's up, by the way. I'm not good at this stuff. Okay? I had a friend, Paul Miller, and a great guy in college. He's a doctor. He was one of those guys. Have you ever seen these people? He was one of those guys that he could literally pull an all-nighter. Didn't study at all, took the curriculum, pulled an all-nighter, read almost the entire book, memorized everything, went in and aced the test the next day. I'm like, this is not even fair. But here's what I realized. Scholastic smarts, scholastic school, does not necessarily always equate to real-world success. Let me tell you what else, though. It does cause you to develop and understand your ability to be dedicated and disciplined. So is it okay if I give you all a little school hack? Because I'm not good with school either. Here's what I used to do. I don't know if you're like me or not. I definitely have ADHD. But at the end of the day, if I sit down to try and study, I'm sitting there and I'm there for maybe like 3 to 4 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get up. I got to go do something. I can't do this. Like my brain's all over the place. All right, so here's what you do. First off, take every distraction in the room, computer, this, and put it somewhere else. Number 2, go to the bathroom. Number 3, get yourself a drink. Number 4, sit down and say, all right, here's what I'm going to do. Why do you go to the bathroom? Because you sit down and you're like, I got to go to the bathroom 3 minutes in. Because your body's telling you need an excuse. So get yourself prepared. Remember, if you want to win, you have to prepare to win, expect to win, and then your chances of winning are greater. Then you sit down and you test yourself, and you get an old school analog clock. You know what an analog clock is? Everybody know what that is? It's like one of these. It's not this, but it's one of these. You get an old school analog clock on Amazon for $5, and you put it there. And you say, I'm going to focus on this material for 5 minutes. Now, some of you might be able to do 20. But I can only do 5. And then when you're done with 5 minutes, you get up and you walk around. My hack is this right here. My kids know. I do it all the time. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because when you do jumping jacks, it gets oxygen into your brain. It's a real effect. It gets oxygen in your brain and it helps you think more clearly. So when you're getting ready to go somewhere where you need to be sharp, that is the hack. I've told my kids, you may have seen them, maybe you haven't, go do jumping jacks in the bathroom before you go in to take the test. Now, most kids would say, what's wrong with you? That doesn't look cool. I'm not going to do that. But when you start to move to the place where you are serious and dedicated about building your own brand, you will do things that no one else will do, which is why you achieve success that no one else will have. And let me tell you one of the last things that is important in building your brand, and that is this. Focus on getting out of the herd. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but success is kind of a lonely journey. There's a lot of people that talk about it. There's a lot of people that talk about how I got my Ferrari and Lambo and all this stuff. I told Jay, I don't know where he is, I was going to bring 2 rolls and a Ferrari, but it's not ready yet, and sit it up here for you guys to see, kind of fun. But there's a lot of people that talk about this stuff, but they don't really have the money to pay for it. They're faking it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? They're faking it. Now, the reality of it is, say that word again. MARPing? Somebody, do you know what they said? Ah, okay, yeah, got it. I got you. Sorry, guys, I'm not from this generation. And that's okay. But the reality of it is, listen, you have to get out of the herd. Which goes back to, who are you listening to? Now, the herd is a group of people or things that are causing you to be in a place where you can't get out. Right now, you're all in a family. You can't control that. You're going to be in that family until you graduate. One of the things I've told my kids, by the way, hey, when you're 18, when you graduate from high school, after the summer, see ya, you're out. And you're on your own. Because my goal is to teach them things that will help them become grounded so they can become adults and live on their own. Here's also what I know. What I know is this. When you get out of the herd, which is the hardest thing in life to do, it's the hardest thing in life to do. Why? Because we allow distraction after distraction after distraction to stay in our life because we actually are lazy. And we don't have real pride in ourselves. We're looking at everybody else as the reason that my life didn't work out the way that I should, instead of taking real pride, which is personal responsibility. Write it down if you got your notes still out. Here's the real acronym for pride. Not trans. It's personal responsibility in daily endeavors. You care enough about your own brand that, guess what? Let's say I'm looking to hire somebody and pay them a lot of money. What do you think I'm expecting? You think I'm expecting somebody that I have to push every day and encourage every day and tell every day to get up and please show up on time and please wash your hair and please cut your hair and please dress nicely? Do you think I want to spend my time doing that? No. So why would I pay a lot of money to somebody that I got to teach them basic skills? Something I heard from a very successful man years ago, and then we're wrapping this up, guys, is this. The definition of success, here it is. Success is when preparation, I'm not talking about preparation H now. Success is when preparation meets opportunity. Everybody over 40 in the room got that joke. Success, listen, is when preparation meets opportunity. You have to be willing to put in the work, even if you don't necessarily know fully what you're working for. You have to be willing to wake up every day and say, you know what? I have fallen into the trap of being negative. I have fallen into the trap of bringing other people around me down. I have fallen into the trap of not seeing life in the positive. I have fallen into the trap of seeing the negative in life. I have fallen into the trap of not being an encourager. I've fallen into the trap of finding myself doing what everybody else is doing, even though I don't know why, just because I want to look cool. I have to reset. I have to step back. I have to slow down. I got to reset my life because it's my life. It's not yours. And your life is not mine. So nobody here is a victim because remember in the beginning we talked about the fact that the decisions that you make dictate your future. It is a choice. You can make decisions to either grow your life or not grow your life. It's not your parents' responsibility for your success. It's not your teacher's responsibility for your success. It's no one's responsibility but yours. Now remember, champions are made on feather beds. They're not, which means it's tough. Life is hard. It's what's under the iceberg. You guys have all seen icebergs before, right? Where's most of the ice? Under the water. So there's a quote that says, which I love, unspectacular, not sexy, unspectacular preparation precedes or comes before spectacular performance. If y'all watch football or baseball or anything, you watch that game on Sunday, there have been years and years and years and years of dedication, getting up early, showing up right, eating healthy, working out, training, learning plays, and then all of a sudden you see a 2-hour performance on Sunday. And you're like, wow, it's so easy for them. It's not. It's that daily dedication. All right, so I'm going to wrap it with this. Josh, how much more time do we have? 15 minutes. So I have a few things that I was going to share, but before I do that, does anybody have any questions that they would like to come down and be bold enough to ask a question about life, about success, about business? And by the way, one of the things I want to tell you something, come on down. If you got a question, just come on down, guys. One of the things that I'm thinking about doing, and I want to see if you guys have interest in this, I'm thinking about, hey, listen up real quick, guys. I'm thinking about creating a little bit more of a robust, we'll call it incubator program. Jay doesn't know this, not Josh, but Jay, the president, anybody else. But I'm thinking about creating a little bit more of an incubator program, which would award students money, maybe a couple $1,000s, to start a company or go forward in an idea, but I need to see what it is. It's got to be clear. So if you're not following me on social, follow me at Real Michael D. Wall. Send your ideas there. My team will get it. If you have an idea, here's what I want you to do. Here's the only way it's going to be evaluated. Now listen, this is the only way it's going to be evaluated. The only way it's going to be evaluated is not by you sending a message and saying, hey, Mr. Wall, Michael, Mike, whatever you want to call me, thanks for your message today. I'm interested. Not going to work. What I need from you is a video of yourself telling me clearly what your plan is, what you want to do, and how you see it working. You know, one of the best things that I did is I start to train myself in how I showed up and communicated. Many of you know, as you saw a little bit of the screen, but you may not know what that means fully. I commentated for national media for 6 years. Have you all heard of CNBC and Fox and all this stuff? Okay. I did that for 6 years, live on camera, speaking to millions and millions of people for 6 years. And you know, when I started media, I'll never forget, I would smile while it was somebody else's turn to speak. And here's how I'd smile. I thought I was smiling. And I watched my interview. I'm like, what am I doing? It looks like I'm smirking, like I'm pissed off. I'm not happy to be there. And so what I'm saying is I had to evaluate myself. And when I wasn't the one that noticed that initially, by the way. Somebody else told it to me. So there's another question that you can put on your notes. This one's for free. You ready for this? When someone that has created consistent success in life, that actually cares about you, points something out to you, how do you receive it? Sometimes we do well. Sometimes we get defensive. How do you receive constructive criticism? I don't always receive it well. But I also want to evaluate sometimes where it's coming from and what's at the heart of the person. Very important. So evaluate yourself. All right, let's go to some questions here. Come on in, Chief. Yeah, stand right here. Right over here.
How did you go from knocking on doors and selling books 80 hours a week to where you are now, and what was your biggest challenge that you faced?
That's a great question. Rigby, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so good question. Here's the thing. So first off, I would say the biggest thing that happened to me is in that summer. Now, this is old school for you guys, but I listened to a ton of Zig Ziglar, Ziglar, Ziglar. Okay, if you listen to him on podcasts or Apple, whatever, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this guy's from Louisiana. The music's from 1947. Seriously. But the message is what I cared about. I started moving past the veneer of the moment. And I started looking at the message. And I started to say, you know what, this guy is saying something that makes sense to me. And I started to latch on to that. So I would say the biggest thing that I did is I want you to understand, I literally went down a path for probably a year and a half to 2 years of literally reprogramming my mind. Let me tell you why. I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania. Love my parents. But here's what my dad always told me. Hey, you know what? We're just kind of middle class, middle of the road people. That's who we are. So don't shoot too high. Don't try and get out of your seat. This is kind of just who we are. Now, he wasn't saying it in a negative. He was saying it in a protection mode. For some reason, that just did not sit well with me. It just didn't sit well. And yes, when I was younger, all I cared about was driving a BMW and buying a certain type of house and doing all. Now I really don't care about money. Stuff is a tool. But when I was younger, I focused first on reprogramming my mind. The second thing that I did, I call it a pressure cooker. This is old school, guys, and help me, stay with me for 1 second. Does anybody know what I'm talking about when you might watch an old movie or look at something from years ago? You know, Zig Ziglar used to say, well, when I was young, now he's passed away, he's like, when I was young, we used to have running water too. It was the kind of water that you had to run and get it and bring it back. See, we're very spoiled. We have no clue how great we have it here. But is anybody familiar with the water pumps? You know what I'm talking about? Not the kind that are plugged to city water where you just pick it up and the water comes out, but the kind that you have to pump and pump and pump and pump. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand if you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay. So what happens with those pumps is this. There's a pipe that goes way down into the ground and goes into a well. Okay, well is underground, a big body of water. And what you have to do is you have to pump and 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 pump that pump to build pressure, suction in that pipe that goes all the way down the ground. Now you have to do it fast and hard or it won't build the pressure. Now the reality of it is if you do it and you're doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and you stop, all of the pressure goes away and the water goes back down and you have to start all over again. But if you pump and pump and pump and go fast and hard and all of a sudden the water comes up, then what happens is you can slow your pump down because you're going. Let me do it this way. Is it harder for a train to start or maintain its speed? Is it harder for a train to start or maintain its speed? Start. Why? Because it's very heavy and it's got to get it all moving. So here's what I'm saying. You have to be, listen everybody, you have to be super intentional about this because you have so many distractions in life today. And I think if we're all honest, we're not real great at actually disciplining ourselves to keep away from them. So changing your attitude, reprogramming your brain, listening to only the positive. Oh, you don't believe life's hard? No, life's always hard. When I was in high school in 1995, 1994, there were wars. In the early 90s, there were wars. There's always been wars. There's always been challenges. You're not the only unique group of people that have grown up into a world that has issues and challenges. They've always existed. So get over it. The other thing that I would say is I focused right here. I was in a situation that I believed, number one, that God has a plan for my life. I didn't understand it all, but I really latched onto a couple things. I didn't know everything. I still don't know everything, but there's 3 things I know with certainty. Number 1, there is a God. Number 2, it ain't me. And number 3, it ain't you either. So get over yourselves. You don't have all the information. I started to get over myself. I started focusing. I started being disciplined. I started working hard. I started spending money to invest into my own future growth. When I was young in business and I was making $100,000, $120,000 a year, I was spending $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year to go find people that were 25 years ahead of me and take them to lunch and pay them for lunch to give them the 3 best ideas I could get. I was spending 30 to 40% of my income to invest in knowledge. And from that, it led to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, because I stayed open. The other thing that I'll say, which I think is really important, is think about ways to make money when you're sleeping. Now, you don't have the answer for that right now, but that's where my brain started to go. And that's why I've been able to build some of the things we've built. Great question. Attitude, focus, intention.
Thank you, sir.
Josh, we got time for another one?
We don't, but I'll have these kids stick around to ask you after.
Okay. Guys, listen, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm serious about the intentionality of developing something. My goal and desire is to watch you guys grow into something that you don't even see yourself. And I'm going to tell you something. If you really latch on to what I have said today and you start to apply it, getting your attitude right, not believing the worst about yeah, but my situation, you don't know my situation, Mike. Oh my gosh, nobody cares. Get over it. Rough things happen to a lot of people. The question is, what are you going to do with your life? Period. End of story. Because it's yours and no one else's. All right? So let's dial this in. If you guys have questions more, you can connect with Josh. Send them to me on Insta. Also, send those videos if you want to be evaluated for business opportunities and ideas. And guys, thanks for so much for the opportunity to share with you, okay? See you, everybody.
Hey guys, let's take a moment. Let's take a moment here to say a prayer and a thank you over Mr. Wall here. Do you mind if we pray over you? Yeah, I'd love to just. All right, Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for Michael and for everything that he came to share with us today, God. We just pray your blessings, continued blessings over he and his family, Lord, and and his company, his business. Lord, we pray that you would guide his influence and his affluence to glorify you, God, in everything that he does, and to do as much work in this world as we can to glorify your name and to help with the things that break your heart. We love you, God. We praise you and worship you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hey guys, one last thing I forgot to say. So I'm going to be rolling out somehow, some way with the school an options trading course. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. It's an options trading course that I seeded it with just a small amount of money. It's 45 grand, and it's up 220% over the year. That means 45,000 is now 150,000. Okay, in the last 12 months. So I'm gonna create a course. We're creating, finishing, Leo's helping to teach you guys this if you would like. Is anybody interested in trying to utilize something like that? Okay, great. All right, see you guys. Thanks for being here.